Hi, today I'm going to talk specifically to the prose writers. And what I'm talking about today is subtext and a very specific type of subtext. And so if you're a poet, try prose for a day. See how you like it. So what is subtext? Well, subtext can be intentional or it can be unintentional. When it's unintentional, sometimes it's problematic, right? Somebody just lets something slip and into a movie or a story, and it's like, oh, wait, maybe that's not the best thing in the world. But also subtext, or maybe it is the best thing in the world. Oh, that person, when they said this, they were also implying that's interesting. That's basically what subtext is the implication as opposed to the explication. So if we're dealing with subtext, it happens very often if you're using dialogue well. And there are a couple parts of dialogue. There's the words that are being spoken, and there's the tagline. I'm not calling it attribution because this is not a literature course, right? I'm calling it tagline because it's the he said, she said, and whatever goes along with it, right? It's the action versus what's said versus what is the person's doing. Now, sometimes, especially with newer writers, you'll see a whole big block of text and then a big block of description. Sometimes it works. Mostly it doesn't. Mostly those two things should be filled so that as the person is talking, they're also doing. They have a very active scene, right? So that's what I'm going to ask you to do today. But I'm going to ask you to do it in such a way that is magical, wondrous, joyful. So what we're going to do is you're going to take let's say a very ordinary thing of dialogue. In fact, you might even try writing the dialogue first, and then think about the space that it's being done in and the players. Think about the closeness of their body and what their bodies are doing with each other and with the other things in the room. So, for example, if they're holding a cup of coffee, they're holding it like this, are they holding it like this, right? This is a very comforting sensation. If you've got a hot liquid, this was tea. But if you've got a hot liquid going in there, because it warms your hands and it makes you feel comfort. Think about where they are in relation to the other people in the room. So, for example, if it's an adult and a child, is the child on the adult's lap? Is the child next to them? What level of sleepiness are there? And so, I'd like you to go through a couple of times and write think of a fairly simple thing, just a discussion about how their day went, right? In which not a lot of things happened, but try to focus on what is the joy and the wonder of that relationship. It's always incredible to have a relationship, isn't it? Because the fact that we can connect with another human being is magic. It's incredible, and the fact that we do connect with other human beings is incredible too. So find the joy in that. I just described the joy between a child and an adult. How about two adults about the same age who are just friends, right? And how do we stand with each other? How do we react? And we acknowledge that really wonderful thing that we are friends. It's one of the things I miss now that I've moved away from Los Angeles. Is I used to hang out with my friends a lot, and I haven't made a lot of friends yet here in New York. I think about hanging out with friends at like a Denny's way late into the night. Like, yeah, I used to do that when I was in my 20s so much, and we'd just sit there and we'd talk and we'd just hang out. And it's a great thing about Denny's or restaurants like them. The people who work there, they don't care. They're happy to have you, and they're talking. It makes their day better. As long as you're not keeping other people out, it's great. And so we'd talk about what felt like the most important possible conversations of our life, and we'd have these sort of deep and meaningful things. So find out where it's going to be set, how you're going to be doing that, and then go for the subtext that creates joy in our heart. Just what are they saying versus what are they doing? So if somebody says, well, I kind of had a boring day, but they're touching each other's hands. Well, okay, we understand what's happening there. There's a relief with this relationship. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow.